Which service in Azure provides identity and access management for users and applications? A. Azure Active Directory. B. Microsoft ND. C. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. D. Azure Key Vault. The correct answer is B. Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID is the service that provides identity and access management for users and applications. Azure Active Directory is the older name for this service. Microsoft Entra Domain Services provides domain services, and Azure Key Vault is used for managing secrets. You need to enable legacy authentication protocols for an application in Azure. Which service should you use? A Microsoft Entra ID. B. Azure Active Directory. C. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. D. Azure Policy. The correct answer is C. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. Microsoft Entra Domain Services supports legacy authentication protocols such as NTLM and Kerberos. Microsoft Entra ID and Azure Active Directory do not support these protocols. Azure Policy is used for governance and compliance. A company wants to manage user access to multiple applications using single sign-on SSO. Which Azure service should they implement? A Microsoft Entra Domain Services. B. Azure Key Vault. C. Microsoft Entra ID. D. Azure Monitor. The correct answer is C. Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID provides single sign-on SSO capabilities, allowing users to access multiple applications with one set of credentials. Microsoft Entra Domain Services does not provide SSO. Azure Key Vault is for managing secrets, and Azure Monitor is for monitoring resources. Which feature of Microsoft Entra ID helps protect against identity-based attacks by analyzing user behavior? A conditional access. B. Privileged identity management. C. Identity protection. D. Multi-factor authentication. The correct answer is C. Identity protection. Identity protection in Microsoft Entra ID helps protect against identity-based attacks by analyzing user behavior and detecting suspicious activities. Conditional access, privileged identity management, and multi-factor authentication are security features but do not specifically analyze user behavior. A company needs to extend their on-premises Active Directory to Azure for hybrid identity management. Which service should they use? A Microsoft Entra ID. B. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. C. Azure Active Directory Connect. D. Azure Policy. The correct answer is C. Azure Active Directory Connect. Azure Active Directory Connect is the tool used to extend on-premises Active Directory to Azure for hybrid identity management. Microsoft Entra ID and Microsoft Entra Domain Services do not provide this specific functionality. Azure Policy is used for governance and compliance. Which service provides managed domain services such as domain join, group policy, and LDAP in Azure? A Microsoft Entra ID. B. Azure Active Directory. C. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. D. Azure Key Vault. The correct answer is C. Microsoft Entra Domain Services. Microsoft Entra Domain Services provides managed domain services such as domain join, group policy, and LDAP in Azure. Microsoft Entra ID and Azure Active Directory do not provide these domain services. Azure Key Vault is used for managing secrets.